Good morning. Good morning, TikTok. Good morning, Zoom friends. I'm glad you're here. I'm Lauren McFerrin. We're going to talk about complex trauma today. So thanks for joining me. Give everybody a few minutes to get here. Good morning. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi,
Jamila. Hi, everybody on TikTok Live. I'm glad that you're here. I'm Lauren McFerrin, and I'm going to talk a little bit about complex trauma, or really just about being human, right? Because we all face trauma. And then we're going to go through a mini meditation to access our bodies and to ground ourselves a little bit. And I love starting my day with this, even though it seems counterintuitive, right? You wake up and you're like, oh my God, I want to get a million things done. But I find that when I start my day with a little half hour, and we'll go about 30 minutes here max, when I start my day kind of grounding my body, everything else is better. So I hope this helps you. And thank you for giving yourself this time, because it's a big deal. I have been writing about complex trauma for the past 5 or 6 years when I was told that my CPTSD was just far too severe to do anything with, which I thought was a really ridiculous thing to tell somebody, because that's not true. So I decided to go on a mission to find who is working on complex trauma. What's going on? It's not even registered in the DSM yet. So PTSD has long been recognized for people that have gone to war and that have faced great traumas. But we have an epidemic of childhood neglect, sexual abuse, assault in our country that warrants some attention to complex trauma and what this does to people. So I started following around Dr. Bessel van der Kolk. He wrote a book called The Body Keeps the Score. I started studying with Dr. Peter Levine. He wrote a book called Waking the Tiger. And do I have my copies over here? I usually have my copies of my books to show you. Okay, so what does it mean, though, the body keeps the score? Like, I grew up being told, like, well, just don't feel that way, Lauren. Just don't feel that way. We're sorry you feel that way, but that's your problem. So if you grew up also in an atmosphere where you literally weren't seen or heard, that creates complex trauma. What is trauma, right? So trauma is unresolved feelings in your body, stored in your body. The body keeps the score. That's what Dr. Bessel van der Kolk is telling us. So a trauma is anything where you had unresolved feelings and it wasn't safe to be seen or heard. It wasn't okay to share how you feel. You weren't able to express that. Maybe it wasn't safe. Maybe the person that your trauma surrounded didn't want to hear it. It doesn't matter. So trauma is not like, oh, what I went through is not a big deal. If you were not able to express your feelings, it's a big deal. It gets stored in your body. And Dr. Peter Levine, who wrote Waking the Tiger, explains to us how we get it out. Thank you, Dr. Levine. He talks about how animals like shake it off. And we've all seen a dog do this, right? Walking down the street. Oh, what's going on? It sees something and then it realizes, oh, I'm totally okay. And you see it like massively shake its leg, right? And then it's done. On it walks. Everything's fine. I wish we did it this way. We don't. As humans, we suppress it. Ooh, it hurts. What do you do when it hurts? Ooh, you hold it in. Why are we doing that? So Dr. Levine is training somatic experiencing therapists to help us get back in our body. I went to talk therapy for more than 30 years. I wanted to help myself. I wanted to get better. A lot of people did. But after 30 years talking about it, I was like, why is it not changing? Working with a somatic experiencing therapist really starts to change things because trauma lives in the body, not the brain. So we have to create a relationship with our body. And if you were like me and you were ignoring your body for the better part of 30 years, it takes a while to come back to it. But everything counts. And we're going to do a meditation today to access what Dr. Levine calls the felt sense. The felt sense is the language of your body. You might feel shivers. You might feel tingly. You might get butterflies when you're around certain people. You might feel good energy. We've all walked into a room and been like, what is going on here? Something is off. And nobody's saying anything. How do you know that? That's your felt sense. That's the language of your body. And the more that we can get in touch with the language of the body and allow it to express what it needs to express, we can move forward and let that stuff go and heal from it. I'm not saying it's easy. I know I'm making it sound easy, and it's not easy at all. And that's why we need to practice. It's a practice. It's not a light switch. I really wish I wanted to go and, just your complex trauma's gone, but it doesn't work that way. It's a practice, just like anything else that you decide to practice in your life, whether it's yoga or meditation or quiet time or certain music, the choices that you make, right? So we're going to do a meditation to access the felt sense, to create a relationship with our body and just practice tapping in. If it's your first time, you may be like, well, I feel nothing. That's fine. You're not doing this right or wrong. You're creating a relationship with your body. So as you walk forward, you can let stuff go. You can be seen and heard. If you weren't seen and heard, you need to look at that part yourself and see it. And if you have somebody safe that you can share it with, they say that grief shared halves and joy shared doubles. And I do think that this is part of the equation, as simple as it sounds, that we got to get back to finding safe places to share with each other. And so if you have people in your life that do want to see and hear you, take advantage of them. Let's support each other. And how can you do this for people in your life? If we have all this trauma, unresolved feelings in our body because we weren't able to express it, let's give each other space to express stuff. Let's show up for each other and say, what's going on with you? I don't want to fix it. I just want to hear it. Do you need some space? And let's normalize just holding that space for each other so that we can walk forward and not have all these unresolved feelings. So Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, The Body Keeps the Score, also says the people that heal their complex trauma do multiple things. And I think that's true. And it is different for every single one of us. Some of us have a lot of trauma and some of us don't get as much. So it totally depends on what you've gone through, what you can do. But I'm here sharing all the things that you can do so that you can choose. So if you are new to me, please follow me if you're interested in learning about all the therapies for complex trauma, which include somatic experiencing under Dr. Peter Levine, who wrote the book Waking the Tiger. I have done EMDR therapy, eye movement desensitization reprocessing, which is fabulous for single episode traumatic events that keep showing up and startling you, triggering you, giving you flashbacks or panic attacks. I've done a lot of psychedelic assisted psychotherapy to heal those traumatic events. And those have been phenomenal, life-changing events. So it's important to have a great guide or have somebody you trust because you're facing your deepest fears. You don't want to do that alone. You don't want to do that unassisted. You want somebody to be there with you. So that has been a phenomenal experience. I talk about that. I talk about ketamine. What else do I talk about? I talk about all things complex PTSD, flashbacks, and then I get into what's helping us with this, right? So let's talk about the vagus nerve, because forever I was told, just don't feel that way. But I'm not in charge of that. My brain isn't in charge of oh, okay, I'll feel happy now. You don't turn it on and off with your words, right? Who's in charge of your feelings? What part of your body is really in charge? The vagus nerve is in charge of getting you to rest and relax. Your vagus nerve is your largest cranial nerve. It runs from the base of your skull all the way down your body. It innervates all of your fascia. Unresolved trauma is held where? In the body, in the fascia, in the water bodies. And your vagus nerve runs right down through all of it. So your vagus nerve is in charge of telling you if it's time to go into rest or relax. You don't get to decide. And your heart rate variable, or your HRV, is a guide to your vagal tone. So when a couple of my therapists were like, Your body is scared. Your body needs to let go. And I was like, guys, I don't feel scared. Like, I'm fine. I know that happened in the past. I'm okay. I wasn't okay. I started tracking my HRV and noticed really low numbers, 5, 11, 15. And I was able to correlate that to like how crashed out I felt, exhausted. Okay, TikTok guys, you're good. Tracking your HRV can give you a hint to your vagal tone. So you can use an Apple Watch, and if you have an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, an Oura Ring, all of these things will track your heart rate variable. Your heart rate variable is a measure of the percent of time between your breaths. Doctors used to tell us that all of our heartbeats beat exactly the same. Beat, beat, beat. Well, that's silly. We know that's not true. When you're running, your heart beats faster. When you're sleeping, your heart beats slower. What happens during a panic attack when you're holding your breath? What happens when you're scared? You might be like me, holding your breath. Trauma breath, some call it, like a more ragged breath, right? And so I didn't even realize I was stuck in fight or flight. So if you have a lot of trauma, I totally encourage you to track your heart rate variable, your HRV. Because it changes so much during the day when you're sleeping, when you're when you're running, when you're walking, you need to like track it for a while. And if you wear a watch, it's all the data is in there and you can just see. But for me, seeing those numbers and correlating it to how my physical body felt suddenly gave me an understanding, oh, my body is really holding on to this stuff. Even though I don't feel scared, my body is scared. A part of me is scared. And so when you meditate to access the felt sense, we're creating a relationship with our body so that we can partner with it to let it go, not alienate it and say, hey, body, just shut up, like get over it. That's never going to work. It doesn't work that way. Your vagus nerve is in charge. So that's why I am really interested in creating a good relationship with my physical body so that we can let these traumas go. And like Dr. Bessel van der Kolk says, the body keeps the score. So we're going to get started with a meditation. My other favorite doctor before we get started is Dr. Richard Schwartz, No Bad Parts. So as you heal from trauma, especially if you were like me and you have what I call good girl syndrome, be a good girl, Lauren. Don't tell her secrets. Don't tell what you saw. That really can mess you up, right? When you're keeping secrets for somebody, especially when they're doing bad things. And so what that creates is sort of this inner voice. Don't do this, don't do that. Be careful, don't do this. You're doing it wrong. And we don't want to talk to ourselves like that. What we say to ourselves really, really matters. And so Dr. Richard Schwartz, no bad parts. None of these parts are bad. They're all here just to protect us. So as we meditate, if you feel something in your body, you're like, oh, what's that? None of it's bad. It's just a message and you can do it. You can handle all of it. So instead of being mad about it, let's be curious and just say, hey, what's going on, body? What can I do for you today? Because we're in it together. And if you hurt, I want to help you. Okay. So find a position that feels right for you today. And if you want to mute yourself, if you're with me on Zoom, that would be great, because throughout the meditation, I say some affirmations. And if you hear me say, I am, I encourage you to repeat it after me. And I'll leave a few seconds so you can do that, because our words are really powerful. And if you start saying this to your body, you're going to create a good relationship with it and you're going to improve your self-confidence. So find a position that feels right for you today. Sitting is ideal, but sometimes I need to lay down. So there's no judgment here. Do what's right for your body. I want you comfy so you can literally let go of your muscles. I don't want you clenching anything, because remember, Dr. Bessel van der Kolk and Dr. Peter Levine explained, as humans, we suppress it. We hold it in, but not now. You don't have to do anything in this moment. You're just going to show up. So when you're ready, gently close your eyes or soften your gaze down. Take in a breath and let it go. Don't control where it lands. Notice your breathing, but just notice. Don't judge. My body has been speaking all along. I am learning to listen. Hi, Soma. It's nice to be with you. I am allowed to slow down. I am allowed to feel. Relax your entire body gently with your eyes closed. Notice your breathing. Relax and try not to suppress anything as we move through our body slowly from feet to crown. Not to judge, just to notice. Think of this as meeting your soma, your body, maybe for the first time. It's been waiting for you. It's gonna like that you're here. So let's start with your feet. Feel your toes. Are they tingly or maybe just dull? Don't judge what you sense. Just take it in. Be curious. Let go of every toe. Let them rest completely. And now your whole foot. Both feet relaxed, maybe in a bubble of cloudy goodness. And we just might say together, hi feet, hi Soma, I see you, I'm here. Thank you for getting me so many places. And now your calves. Let the muscles soften, and your knees and your thighs until your entire legs feel soft, heavy, calm. Maybe you notice some tightness or some numbness, but we're just noticing and we're letting go. I see you, legs. Thanks for getting me everywhere. Now we're going to move to the root, your hips, your groin, the base of your body. This is your center, your anchor. Imagine it gently securing you to the earth beneath you. Solid. You can always count on this earth beneath you. And we might say, hi, Soma. Hi, root. Thanks for rooting for me. And we're moving our relaxation focus now into the sacral area just below your belly button. This is where creativity lives, sexuality, flow. Scan from the center outward, relaxing it all. From the center to your hips, both left and right, hold nothing. And if you don't feel anything, that's okay. You're still building a relationship with your soma. And now let's focus on the center of your body, your trunk, your stomach, your belly, the flanks of your back. Let it all soften. And now your heart, just behind your breastbone. Listen closely with your senses, not your thoughts. What do you feel? Is there anything here? We might say, hi, heart. You are so important. My body carries wisdom. I am learning to trust it. If anything speaks up while you're here, a sharpness, a sudden heaviness, Just say hi. You might say, "What's up, Soma?" "I'm here. I'm listening." Now we'll move our focus to the upper back and shoulders. Oh, Soma, you hold so much here. Let every muscle go, both sides, shoulders, down your arms, your elbows, your wrists, your hands. You might say, "Thank you, hands. You carry so much. I see you." And now your neck, your throat, your voice. The left side, soften it. And the right, from the base of your neck to your ears. We might say, "Hi, Soma neck. I know you have things to say. My truth is not too loud. I am allowed to hear it." Into your jaw now. So many of us hold so much here. Completely let go. Notice if you were clenching. And if your body ever wants to shake a little or move about, let it. That's your Soma releasing. We don't judge it. We allow. Now we're at your head, the back of your skull, your temples, your forehead, all the way to the very top, your crown. Let it all soften. And take a moment and scan your entire body from your crown all the way back down to your feet. Notice where you're soft. Notice where you're not. You don't have to fix anything right now. You just notice. My body is not my enemy. It is the part of me that never lied. My body can guide me towards what feels safe. Now, gently turn your attention inward, not to analyze, not to explain, just to notice. Whatever is there, just let it be information, not a problem. A signal, asking to be seen. My anger is information. I am allowed to hear it. My sadness is information. I am allowed to honor it. My grief is information. I am allowed to sit with it. When you feel things in your body, you don't have to rush to resolve anything. Feeling isn't a problem to solve. It's a signal to stay with. My feelings are not problems to solve. They are my feelings. My feelings are valid. It is safe for me to have needs. Take a deep breath in and exhale, let it all go. Thank your Soma for whatever it showed you today, even if it was a little quiet, even if it felt like nothing. You showed up for yourself, and that matters. Your body has been doing its best your entire life, protecting you, adapting, carrying what your mind couldn't hold. Nothing went wrong. Your body learned what it needed to learn. Your body didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with my body. My body learned what it needed to learn to keep me safe. My needs are not too much. I deserve safety. You are allowed to choose what works for you. And we might say to ourselves here, I am allowed. Your needs are not too much. I am allowed to have needs. In a few moments, we're going to come back to the room, but transition really matters here, so please take your time and stay relaxed as long as you can. Try to carry this letting go feeling with you today, right? Not suppressing things when things hurt. Instead of suppressing, what can we do? We can open, allow. And I like to ease my transition back to the room by rubbing my hands together, feeling the warmth they create, and then putting them over my eyes and blinking slowly into my hands. And coming back to the room when you're ready. You did something really important today. You paid attention to your body, to your soma, and it noticed. You're learning to come home to yourself. So I hope that you carry this with you today. Trauma comes off in layers. These are the layers. The practice is the layers. You might feel tired today, but I ask, please do something good for yourself. Maybe a bath, a treat, a hot water bottle, something for your body. And when you do it, will you just say, I'm with you, I'm paying attention. Thank you for being here. I am really hoping that we can start to create a world where we see and hear each other respectfully so that we don't have to carry around all this extra trauma in our body. So I'm going to try to show up for the people in my life like that, and I hope that you do too. And day by day, we're going to create some big changes. So if you've been with me here this morning on TikTok or on Zoom, I thank you so much for supporting me as I try to spread the word about all this complex trauma and what we can do. And you guys are my community. So thank you for being part of the Good Girl Trauma community and hanging out with me while I heal some trauma. Have a great day. All right, TikTok guys, thank you so much. It's been really cool hanging out with all of you. I think this is just such an amazing platform. I'm obviously not thrilled about the changes to the platform, and have certainly noticed that it is somewhat harder for us to all find each other. So I hope you're finding me and I'm finding you, because the communities that we're creating and the truths that we are sharing here are fucking important. Really, really important. So the more that we can each heal, the better we are prepared to create something new in this world. And we need it, but it's going to take every one of us. So if you showed up here with me today, you're doing it. And I really appreciate that. It's not about being perfect. It's about practicing, and it's about bravery. So judge yourself on bravery, not perfection. And I hope to see you again next week. If you want a deeper dive, join me for Chapter 1, What Heals Complex Trauma, where I talk about all the therapies in depth. And we go through brain waves, default mode network, vagus nerve, HRV, and all the things that we can actually do to kind of come back into relationship with our body and be the best that we can be. All right. Thanks so much, TikTok guys. See you next week.